Right. Back in business. Later than I had planned to be, if I'm honest. But it's because I had everything set up for like the top-down view that I was doing yesterday, and then realized that actually today it's going to be a lot of just trying stuff on. So I had to change my setup around, but it's fine. I have set stuff up, so now it's like a more of a full body-ish view. It's as much as you need to see, basically. So yeah, that is a thing. So I have, after yesterday's awkward silent stream, I have this, and this fits as it is supposed to. So I can measure up the next couple of pieces based on this, which is epic. So I'm thinking if I check it against these, then I'll have half an idea. And if I need to mess about with stuff, then I can. It's just trying to know what fits where and how. I know these were originally joined at the back, so I'm thinking if I try and rejoin these, just to see how they marry up, then I'll go from the front instead to see. If I'm going to test stuff, I'd rather test it with the dodgy one, you know? So I think I'll do that. Because I've been really sweating over getting this side of things done. This is probably the most complicated bit I'm going to have to do. So I'm just kind of like, I'm going to bite the bullet on this one. I'm going to do the thing. But also I am like, just deep in it, really. I am deep in it. Because it's not going to be easy. It's getting all the wedges in, getting the curves to be correct. Do I need to cut this or can I just step into it? I'll see. I'm also going to have to wear the t-shirt that is now covered in plaster, so that's another thing. Probably should have tried to get some of this off beforehand. Oh well. It's literally just been sat on a shelf since I used it last, so... Good morning. Is it? Is it though? Cool shirt, I like it, thank you. I actually got it from, it's MCM the beginning of last year, I think. It wasn't October. I'm pretty sure it would have been May. God, this is such a mess. Is it gonna matter? I don't care enough. Fine. So, having just expressed how cool the shirt is, yes, I did make it into a tank myself. Of course I did. Of course I did. I just, that's what I do with t-shirts. Right, I'm gonna quickly swap out and put on this obnoxiously tight t-shirt because I'm gonna have to. So bear with me a sec while I take the mic off. It's certainly an interesting look. I am not personally an advocate for the old compression tees. I don't think they look particularly good on most people. I also have no idea where to clip the mic. I'll try it up here. There's something wrong about you being up doing crafts at 2 a.m. and me being awake to watch it, yes. Clip on your sleeve? Oh, maybe, actually. I don't know, how audible is that? Does it come through? Okay, it comes through on OBS. So I'm hoping it's audible. Not? Yes? No? Maybe? Does it work? If it works, then great. It's ish. Alright, hang on. We'll go with plan A. And it'll just be right up in my neck. So I hope I'm not too loud. If I am, then I apologize. I'd usually have it further away from my face. But there's not actually much I can do about that at the minute. So that's good. Okay. So I have this. And this fits in here as it should. So that's pretty cool. I need to double check exactly where it's meant to sit. And then measure up the next bit. Usually got my phone on max volume, so this is nice. Okay. That is... yeah, okay. What's this for? This is the cosplay that I'll be presenting in October, and it's the armour set. Let me find a reference so that I can show you what I'm doing, and you can laugh because clearly I hate myself. Does that come through on camera? I'm hoping it does. At least a bit. Just about. The light's not helping though. Hang on, let me turn that off and then see if that works better. I'm hoping that's then fine. Comic-Con going... oh yeah, I remember you saying about going with your friends. Very nice. Yeah. So that's the plan. Except I'm making it more complicated. Because of course I am. So it's that with a twist. So yeah, that is a whole thing. I'm just trying to see where this piece is meant to sit. Okay, there we go. Got it. So actually, it is sort of up here-ish. So that's fine. Because it will actually stay up on its own. But I will deal with things to make it so that, like, I'll deal with various attachments so that it stays where it should be, basically. Did you want to yap about... yeah, go, yap about things. Yap about things and stuff. Because I'm going to be faffing with this for a second anyway to try and figure out what I'm doing with it. Trust the process, but I do not have the vision. Yeah, don't worry about it. Honestly, that is fairly standard. Right. Probably should have located a mirror as well. Because I'm definitely going to need that. If that sits there, this sits on top of that. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need a mirror. Don't know why I thought I wouldn't. Use your phone as a mirror? Nah, it's not really big enough. There was a mirror out here at one point, but I know not where it has gone. So I might go and rob the garden mirror, which is supremely sketch. But let me think. That's the only one I can think of stealing is the garden mirror. So I just left the Discord. Ooh, okay. I don't really know what to ask about your sitch. So, all right. How about why were you guys just in the Discord and like not talking or anything? Just vibing, I guess. What's the deal with that? This mirror is too heavy. I need to go and locate another mirror. Second, keep typing. Okay, I'm back. I literally robbed the mirror from my bedroom because every other mirror was just bolted to the wall. So at least I have a mirror now. That's a plus. Right, let me scroll. Let me scroll. Full mirror. Thanks. Come on, let me scroll down it. I can see the bar. Bloody thing. Here we go. Might be going out next weekend. Nice. Getting late, sitting in silence for a good few minutes. Basically asked if you're still awake. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I know about the music bot. Every time it comes up, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll fix that. And then I forget. So, yeah. Let me try and put this mirror up somewhere. Because I'm going to need this. Don't worry about the vines and stuff. They're literally attached to the mirror, so like, I'm in with it. And I get you in here sensibly. Good enough, actually. Yes. Hell yeah. Right. Back to what I need to be doing. That's meant to be there. That's the story. He is nearly. You're right. Okay. So that becomes a problem, but I can probably sort that. Main thing is, this should be right up and under, which it is, but needs some messing with. The right hand side's pretty okay. So, yeah, if I go off the right hand side, and I say about there is the middle of my chest-ish, and it's right up and under. So this is mostly okay. The back needs messing with a bit, but I can faff with that, no biggie. As far as this, I'd say really, I wouldn't want it to be any wider than that. So actually it might be okay. But I'll just base it off of this one. Cool, okay. Try it based on this side. I'm gonna go at like 10 tomorrow. Gonna be so awake. Yeah, you have fun with that. In fairness, I will also be awake. So I call myself artsy and creative, but I don't know what's going on here. Honestly, I don't. I never do. I make this up as I go along. Yeah, but you've slept. I have. That is true. I have slept. I do have that advantage. Based on this. And there's another piece under here as well. So I'm thinking, don't know why this is under here. Does that make a difference? It's probably, let me see. I've napped twice, but for short periods, I'll be fine. That is how that works, to be honest. That is exactly how that works. See then. Comes in too much, so needs a bit under. Yeah, okay. That needs something up under here. Fair enough. I can do that. If I was working, I'd be worried, but I'm not, so I don't care. Yeah. Yeah, is how that goes. I reckon I set a piece in under here. I reckon that'll fix it. Nah, screw it. So I think, and I kinda know that. Trouble is, if I build it up from the inside, then I have to do the same later, which I don't want to do. I don't have a lot of choice though. No, it's fine, because then the outside will still fit, and the inside will be hollow anyway. So as long as it looks right on the outside, the inside will sort itself out. It's fine. Fine. You look like you need an extra pair of arms. Yes. That is always, always the case with anything like this. But I have used my nan every now and then, as much as possible. I try to do it on my own, just to like make the case for it, because like most people are probably having to do this stuff on their own, you know. So I try to do the same, because that's historically how I've done things anyway. But it's also just more useful for people who are doing these kinds of things. And it's just like, you know, it's doable. It's difficult, but it's doable. Very independent. More foolhardy, if I'm honest. Just a bit of a muppet. Let's say I did that up here. See how that sits. In fairness, if this as an activity isn't 3 a.m. coded, then I don't know what is. It's like a 2-minute lag between messages and chat. Yeah, it is grim. It has been grim for a while. Okay, not quite, but it's almost a minute. And there's the bot again. Right. Definitely fixes that. That is its own problem. But I can sort that out after the fact. Point is, it's then much better. So, it's probably fine. Comes up pretty high, because the chest then sits over that. Rejoin stream, we'll see if that fixes it. Fair enough. Here's hoping. Right. Now that I know that fits okay, I'm going to slide that off. And I'm going to half of it, basically. So, what I want to know is First off, which of these is for this? That side, it'll be these ones, right? Yeah, okay. So I basically want to be able to mirror what I've got here. Yeah. How much have I previously told you about this guy? I think like a childhood friend type deal from memory. I don't remember a whole lot in the way of like actual specifics. Know that you were very close. You have been for a very long time. But I know nothing past that. Or at least I don't remember anything past that. Because I'm a bad friend. Get the feeling I'm about to get a whole load of lore dumped on me. Okay. Jeez. I did not intend for you to get timed out. How do I... There we go, okay. Right, fix that. I don't want any messages to be deleted, damn it. That's so inconvenient. It said the word law. I swear down, I don't know why it did that. I also don't know how to undo it. Alright. Alright, I can find it. You're not a bad friend. You would have been correct about the law. Known each other since 11, friends since 13, became inseparable in sixth form. Went to uni, came to me for a week. And yeah, cool. Together for almost 2 years. Blimey. Okay. Not a bad friend for forgetting though. I don't know, man. I'm pretty terrible. I'd done this in a simpler way, we'd be alright. But I haven't. I've made this a mess. This is going to be interesting. How do I translate this sensibly? Maybe I don't. Maybe I cut some simpler shapes out of a bunch of scraps that I've got. I've got a lot of scraps in here. See what I can do. Split November 24. Kind of messy on both sides. Oosh. Ultimately, it was my fault. Oh, what did you do? And you say your fault as opposed to your decision. So that's why I'm like, oh, okay, right, fair enough. Well, not, but, you know. I need to get some better scissors. I keep saying it and then forgetting. Still regret it, don't remember it happening. That's alcohol, I guess. Not that I'd know, because I don't drink, but from everything I can tell, don't drink anymore at all. Fair play. Because of that, or just because, you know, metaphobia? Because that's why I never did. Yeah, because of that. Okay, fair enough. And alcohol's messy and not worth it. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I'll probably set in a whole piece up here then. By the looks of this. Yeah, looks like it. I don't want to waste a ton of time doing so. I can probably get away with. Yeah, this will follow that. I'm taking it till about there. Looks about right. Didn't like the taste of a lot of spirits. So many bottles I wish I could drink. But emetophobia, yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Is fair. Entirely fair. But it's good for me in the long run. Yeah, I would say so. I remember back in my day, like the amount of older kids in school that were genuinely amazed. Just wasn't interested. And then, you know, later down the line, if we met up and it, you know, conversation went that way, they'd be like, "Wow, still really? That is genuinely impressive." But it's not. It's literally just because of the emetophobia. So, you know, I always thought it was kind of funny how people kind of latch on to the idea that it's some kind of impressive to not drink, and maybe it is. But for me, it's like, no, I'm just afraid. It's not any moral thing. Like, I literally am just scared. So, you know, it is objectively not as impressive as people were making it out to be honest. I mean, this guy got drunk at school once and had to fake sobriety to teachers. Jeez. When I sprained my foot, nearly fell out of his bed. Jeez. Yeah. Yeah. I I also had the old emetophobia with the food thing. That was that was a problem. That was a whole problem. Way I got around that. I say got around that like I ever really got over it. Basically, I used to be a lot worse, but to start with, I just ended up having like vegetarian stuff just to get back into the habit of like, no, you're fine. This thing has been cooked. You will survive, and like, there's nothing in here that can go wrong, basically. And then I kind of started sort of slowly working my way up from there. Same guy, just don't want to name drop him. Oh, okay, fair enough. What's your comfort food? Chicken nuggets? I'm guessing. Like dino nuggets? Carbonara. Wow, that's way more adult than I was expecting. I was so geared for like nuggets of peak though. Okay, that's more what I was expecting. That is a lot closer. My dad used to make it for me, that's why. Ah, okay. I see. That makes a lot of sense. It was his birthday on Sunday. Hmm. Did you do anything or go anywhere or not the easiest day? Yeah. An afternoon tea out? Yeah. How much is for good? That's a plus. That is a huge plus. Never underestimate the power of a good sandwich. That is completely fair. Okay. Second one in here. That's just one. two in the very middle. So probably from up here somewhere. Then even this guy came over because he remembered and knew how difficult it was going to be. Ah, fair enough. What, just like a family friend, or I'm assuming like a godparent or something? Oh, the same guy. Right. I see. So definitely not that. Fair enough. And from what I remember, I think your mum likes him, so I imagine that made things a little bit easier as well. My mum does like him, as does Granny. Okay, huge. Granny approval, huge. Does the rest of the family, his family, dad liked him, godfather liked him. Okay, huge. The godfather hates him because he's too good looking. Yeah, that sounds like some godfather shenanigans. So that's good. Could do with a little bit of lightheartedness. So are the two of you going out today then? Is that what you're up to? 10. No, he's working. Okay. I'm gonna see my nan and cousin. Okay, nice. That's cool. Roughly there, I think. He's got a proper job, 8 to 6, Monday to Friday. Half day Saturday. Okay. I will eventually eradicate the bot. I will. When I remember, we'll get rid of the bot. But until then, just gotta suck it up. Fine. I think that's gonna make a massive difference. I think it's just that very middle. That's all 2, and then that is 3. So what if I did that? Let's try that. Yeah, look, I get bullied by my own bot. I'd set it up like, yeah, I'll have music on my stream, and then was like, you know what, just gonna be simpler to not. Much simpler to not. Right. Then, in theory, it's just a case of seeing where this is supposed to go. I believe it's joined down here as a definite. The thing is, if that wraps around, works the way it should, which is cool. Dan and Phil created a bunch of music that everyone's free to use. I know there have been a few people who've done stuff like that. I know there was a tweet from Mark Reveille saying that all of his stuff, like, you can use his stuff in videos. He won't strike anyone, which is pretty huge, to be honest. But his stuff is hilarious and, like, kind of too specific, you know? Nice lo-fi background music. Okay, that's good. So I've been keeping these without music because I just figured, like, it's easier for people to put their own music on in the background, you know? That's kind of what I've been going off of. Figured it was just going to be easier to leave people to it, you know? It's the kind of you do you situation. I wonder if I could cheese this. I really want to bite the foam, bruh. Muscles be popping off the compression tee. No, I don't. They're not though. They're so not. Compression tees are never a good look. I had some wide tape somewhere, but it was masking tape. I don't really want to use duct tape. Might have to. I've got an idea. I have a way of potentially making my life slightly easier in a stunning turn of events. Autoclave tape. Nah. None of that. If I never see autoclave tape again, it'll be too soon. Frankly. I had this in and up here like that. What does that want to end up being? That. Then I shall make it such. It's so sticky, and for what? Yeah, right. Alas, I'm a scientist wanting to pursue a PhD. I have visions of autoclave tape. Better than hearing there's a wayplate in the lock. Speaking of visions, my dream last night, my left leg was amputated above my knee. What was that about? No, because I said, yeah, the wayplate in the lock, I definitely hear people talking about wayplates, and I'm like, no, that's not real. I know that's not real. So why am I hearing it? I hate it. The worst. seems pretty okay. So if I can do the same thing with the other one, then Gucci. Traumatizing, yes. Yes, it is. It definitely is. So it's going to be the opposite, which is that way. So it's then going to be that way. So I'm going to have to flip it, which is fun, but I'm definitely going to get confused. Especially because the shapes are slightly different. Right. Unless I was smart. Unless I was smart, and... But I've taped this one already. Taped that one already. Okay, well, what I could do is... It's roughly there. Okay, I have an idea. Why has it timed you out again? I forgot. I work on Wednesday. I was looking to prepare hang for the plate reader, put my hand down behind it. At the half a box worth of pet tips. Why? Why though? Right. Get untimed out. Jeez. I'm gonna have to fix that at some point. That is obnoxious. Um, I am not sure. It's a cryptic message. Why would I... Right, okay. Maybe it's just because you were yapping and it was like, that's a lot of characters. I don't know, Chief. Maybe that's all it was. That's that and that's that. It would be that and that. Yes, okay, that will work. I have an idea. It may or may not work, but I have an idea. We'll see if I get lucky. Because stuff tends to not dry on foam very quickly. So I'm hoping if I do that, I can at least print where things should be going. Ah, I'm a genius. Hell yes. Okay. Now I know where to put all of the little wedges and stuff. Epic. I'll type smaller messages now. Yeah, that's the safer bet. Jeez. There are still trolleys that just wheeling around chaos permanently. Still want to eat the foam. Don't eat the foam. It's not for eating. Bad. Right. So I'm going to need a little triangle up the front. About that. Nom nom nom. No, bad. Cease. Do not consume the foam. Absolute child. I don't know why they took the bench out over a week before the racking's being fitted. That doesn't surprise me at all. Not even slightly. No one thinks ahead ever. Not ever. And because they're never the ones that are around to deal with the fallout, it doesn't matter to them. Also taking 2 small and 1 long laminar flow. Ooh, I knew it. I knew that was coming next. They were trying it when I was still there. Obviously, the shift lead said no. So I wonder what's changed. And we had to dispense 600 plates in a Titan. What? Still got no pumps. Oh my god. Yeah. That's honestly, like... And that's not a slight on the remaining shift leads. It so isn't. But I knew that as soon as I was gone, things would start happening a lot quicker. And none of them are good things. Yeah, no. I am hoping that he's rushing his apprenticeship so that he can dip. Shaking his head and laughing a lot. Yeah, that sounds like him. And power to him, frankly. He deserves an out. Realistically, I would like everyone to just up and leave. Because what are they going to do without you? Told me it's a sort of offer from GSK? Yes. Yeah. That was my understanding as well. Yeah, he said it's soon-ish. But he was telling me about it as well. So that is absolutely huge. Keep saying we collectively need to agree to not go in. Yeah. Well, I've been saying for objectively years, like, if you just say no to the stupid stuff, what are they going to do? What can they do? Like, the whole time people are fighting to make stupid things work, nothing's going to change. That was a big deciding factor in me ducking out. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. fair play to him. I know things were sort of in motion as I was on my way out. So that's a plus. I imagine he's losing his mind, though, with the pump situation. Because you bet your life he is well on top of that. And it's still going to shit. 17 people in per day. Did his back in the other week. Oh, man. Yeah, no, I'm not surprised by that. I'm not surprised by that. It is really, really rough. That fills out that bit. Is just middle bit again. I'm gonna need to get some more scraps to mess with. So disappointed. Damn it, Roy. He's too good. He's too good for the world, to be honest. Especially for the company. Everyone's too good for the company, to be honest. He is, him and Chris. Yeah, Chris is losing it. Bless him. I also really want him to just jack it all in. Keep meaning to try and poke him. Because he is literally meters away from me. So what you right, explain that one. Explain that one, because I'm my immediate response is rage. So details. Wild stuff. I just said no. Good. I'm right. This is all stuff that if I were still there and heard about it, like with the language situation that I dealt with for Rhea and Devanshi, that annoyed me a lot. Things like that I will not stand for. So I'm not surprised that certain people are talking a whole bunch of nonsense now that I'm not there anymore. Didn't give any reasoning. Chris had asked for my help with splash testing and I was helping him, and Assad called me away and told me to go do something else. I told him Chris had asked for my help and I completed all my tasks, but Assad was still like, no, you can't interact with him. Right. Okay. great. I'm not even there anymore, and I'm like, why I order? Not a lot I can do, but even so, I'm still big mad. They're blaming Chris's work for why the pumps. What? No. Yeah, literally everyone that works with the equipment knows what it is. I know that Gary was beefing with Chris's way of working. But the issue I take with that is it's like, okay, I understand that having an outside perspective is useful at times. However, context is very important. And considering the fact that Chris has been dealing with the maintenance on these things since before we were having a bunch of problems, I would suggest probably not Chris's problem. Exactly, it's insane. Yeah, no, it is insane. It is categorically insane. I knew that they were trying to pin stuff on Chris because I'd to fight off accusations a while back. So I suppose I'm not particularly surprised that they're still trying that one. People who make decisions about it are people who are less than 5% of the time. Yeah, yeah, every time. Yeah, allegedly oversee things, right? What? Okay, like he always took the mick with what time he showed up. That is ridiculous. That is so dumb. Okay, great. Awesome. Definitely not low-key seething over here right now. And again, it's not even like I'm there anymore, but doesn't stop me from caring. Madness, sorry to rage you this early in the morning. Nah, it's fine. I would want to hear about these things anyway. But all the more reason to just surprise everyone for drinks. Because I love the idea of certain people going and then I rock up. That makes me happy. I like the idea of putting certain people immediately on edge. People who very much deserve to be put on edge. Still see them constantly when I'm in there. Amy nearly cried. Jesus. Mm-hmm. Well, I know she and Anju. Well, before I left, I said to them like, make sure you have a set date for when you're supposed to transfer over, because they will try to keep you for as long as they possibly can. Just make sure you know when you're supposed to be going, and you enforce that, because they will take the mick. But I don't remember when they're supposed to be going. We won't tell anyone you'll be there. Nice. 15th is the last day, technically. Okay. I hope that comes to pass. I really do. Spoke to the agency, told them my notice. They asked them keeping me for the full contract time. Ah. Interesting. Yeah, that's a good idea. And that reminds me, I need to chase them over a month's wages that they've not given me yet. That was a whole thing. I got a pay slip through for holiday that I had left and overtime, but nothing for the last month's actual wages. Yeah, so they owe me like a couple of grand. And I need to poke them about that. That has reminded me. I left the payslip on my computer desk as a way of trying to remind myself. But I keep forgetting. Yeah, it's a little bit mental, isn't it? Not that I'm particularly surprised. I'm sure they'll have some stupid reason. But I don't care. I did the time, so you can give me my damn wages. Jeez, that's frightening. I don't like credit cards. I just don't like the premise. I've never been someone that lives beyond their means, you know? So they're good to build credit scores, yeah. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. That's the only reason I'd considered getting one in the past. I still might. But, you know, I've got quite a few things on my list at the minute. So I'll get to it when I get to it, I suppose. Right. Then want to suppose technically I could probably wrap this around here. Get an idea of this. to where it should be. I will just do something similar to this. And that'll be that one, yeah. Yeah, no, that's a fair strap. Yeah, okay, look. Bot stuff is bot stuff. Like, it's all stuff that I forget exists. And because I'm usually yapping to myself, you know, it doesn't crop up. But don't worry about it. Bot stuff is just bot stuff. I not have any bigger pieces. I can probably make these work, to be honest. See what I can do with these. Yeah. No, I'd forgotten that was why you were even here to begin with. I suppose I'm used to like Jackie just being awake, you know. So I forget that being up at almost 4 in the morning, kind of actually not the best, really. So it comes right in close. Probably do that one of these then. Nearly. Taking the meds, which I can, it's just not helping. It is genuinely hideous. You definitely have my sympathies. Why am I even bothering to mess with this? I could just stick these on, it's probably gonna be fine. Let me see. One bad night, I'll survive. 36 hours though, jeez. Yeah, no. Suffering is definitely how I would frame that. Definitely. Went to go see a surgeon who specializes in endometriosis. Had to have ultrasounds. Had an MRI and it was inconclusive. Jesus. That is unhelpful. I might have it, but would need exploratory surgery to find out. Jeez. So I said, no thanks, I'll just get stronger pain meds. Then tried to sit me back on the pill, like, no, wrong hormone. Oof. Yeah, ew, yikes. Big yikes. I don't know. I don't know. I suppose it depends. It depends how everything that you're working toward pans out. Because I don't actually know what your options are, really. Big yikes? Yeah. No, that definitely is. That is a huge yikes. Yeah, I don't know in your specific circumstance. Can't really comment. Just objectively, I wouldn't know. Hoping that will then offset. Have that. It's definitely better. So I'll mirror it on the other side as best I can. Make sure this is roughly the same. I could probably take off a little bit from that. Probably try. Yeah, that's better. Gonna see a gender psychiatrist, I think. For gender disorder diagnosis, yeah. Looking with my GP to get my blood tests done. And see an endocrinologist. Okay. You look like a man who needs a bit of craft scissors. Yes. Categorically, yes. I am in scissor hell at the minute. Which just sounds like a gay joke, but it isn't. I keep, like, forgetting about the scissor conundrum and then remembering when it is causing me physical and emotional pain. At which point, it's like, well, it's objectively too late now, so thanks. My bath, my closest supermarket is Lidl, and guess what's next door to it? Go on. As if it's like a hobbycraft or something. It is a hobbycraft. God damn it. I wish. You're going to wind up with a bunch more embroidery socks that you categorically don't need because you have a billion. Also, a pets at home and an M&S food hall. Bruh. Just living the dream. Feels kind of sad that that is the dream, though. Found my ideal brand online, less so expensive to buy individually. Yes. Yes, they are. They are very expensive. I remember from back when I was interested. Canvases, though, I'll have so many. Good, as you should. Creating is a huge deal. It's important. Even if it's a little bit obscure. Which is about as charitable as I can be toward my nonsense. But it's important. Making stuff. Being productive is painfully important. I'm gonna move so much earlier than I technically need to. Yeah. No, massively. Like, take the time. Enjoy having breathing room, really. Buy jewelry, keyring stuff. Oh no. Polymer clay critters. That is horrifying. That is its own rabbit hole. When you start messing with like Fimo and stuff, you're already gone. You will create monstrosities. Whether or not you try to, you will. That's just how that works. Been there, done that. So cool. What do you mean? Gone into financial debt? So expensive. Yes. Fimo is dumb expensive. It definitely is. Okay, that works, but will it work with this underneath? That is the big question. So, yes, it does. But, I mean, I think that's going to stand away no matter what I do. In fairness, I can probably fix that. That works out fine. But this back bit, pretty sure I can fix it. So the minute it sticks out, I don't think it's going to matter. I'm probably going to need it to, in fairness. I might just leave it. Yeah, I might just leave it. Main thing is No, I want to fix it. I want to fix it. If I've observed it, then it's a problem. I can probably fix it. I'm meaning to... I've never asked what the tattoo is on your arm. Ah. I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. Let's cope. Every time I notice something and go, it's fine, I will change my mind. The tattoo is a combo of nerdy things. So it's Dark Souls stuff on the outside, and then Zelda stuff in the middle. It's actually one half of a couple tattoo, which you wouldn't know unless I told you, which I am. So now you know. Angus loves Dark Souls. Correct. So what it is that my now ex has the same tattoo, except what he's got in the middle of his is different. I believe his is a hunter's mark from Bloodborne. So mine is a Sheikah Eye from Zelda. Because Zelda's my jam. And yeah, so it's only if we were next to one another that you'd clock that we had almost the same tattoo. How do you feel about that? So I'm okay with it, because at the time that we got these, we already knew that we were splitting up, because I was going on to do all of the things that I have since done. And I said at the time, like, look, you didn't sign up for this, so I'm not going to hold you to it. So we knew that we were going to split, but we still wanted to get tattoos anyway. So we did. And I don't mind it, because I can look at it and think, you know, the time that I got this, we were sad, but we were understanding. Y'all were together a while, yes. We were together for 8 years. We don't talk now, because about a year or so ago-ish, slightly longer than a year, he suddenly got a girlfriend and didn't talk to anyone in the friendship group anymore. Like, if it was just me, I'd have been like, you're a scumbag, but fine. If you're going to be weird about it, sure. He just dropped the entire group of us. So you don't need to dwell on it. I'm not bothered. It's actually it's kind of a crazy story. I know someone who did that. Okay, but it gets crazier, right? So it wasn't just a case of like boy meets girl, disavows old friends because new stimulus and whatever. It was more whack than that. Go on, right. So what happened was, so I'll start from the beginning of that year. So New Year rolls round, it's myself, 2 other mates and him, all agree to go to Fantasy Forest, which I know I've spoken to you about before. And I think it was something stupid, like a couple of weeks before we were meant to go. So it would literally be this time last year. That's nuts. Okay, yeah. So like this time last year, he he messaged all of us. By the way, next Tuesday you'll have known me a year. Freakish that you know that, but okay. I'll choose to walk away from it for now. But yeah, it's like a couple of weeks before the event. Like we've planned everything out. We look, okay, fine, sure, but it's still freakish. Anyway, shut up. Let me ramble. So yeah, New Year, we'd agreed to all do this thing, cool, fine, whatever. And then like February time ish, he just like stopped talking to people, and we were kind of like, okay, well, we know he's just met someone, so maybe that's all it is. He's like, oh, I'll just focus my attention here for a while. Didn't say anything to us, just kind of left. And then a couple of weeks before Fantasy Forest, he messaged saying, I'm not going anymore. I'm sorry. And like he was meant to drive us and everything. Like we had everything planned out. We had the accommodation sorted. Everything had been organized. Like it was all set. And he completely threw us. We managed to like recoup stuff and reorganize things barely. And we had an amazing time in the end. But yeah, all of that happened. And then he continues to just not talk to anyone. And then uh, another mate, well, another couple of mates of mine were getting married in November. And then the stag do was a little bit before then, like quite close, but a little bit before then. And I'd already said, like, I bet you any amount of money he's just going to bail on the stag. And he did. What we didn't know was that he had bailed on the stag because he himself was getting married. Which none of us knew. None of us knew. And then a couple of months ago, right? A couple of months ago, a friend of mine gets a message from this girl saying, Hi, I'm Marina, Jamie's wife. And we're all like, hold up. Pardon? What? And she was trying to get in contact with the friendship group, saying like, oh, Jamie misses his friends. Oh, right? Right? Literally. Isn't it mental? Like, oh, his friends mean so much to him and blah blah blah. And apparently like he he had chosen not to speak to all of us because she had said to him that the relationship that he had with me was weird. Like, because we were still friends, she wasn't okay with that. So then, rather than taking any vaguely sane option, he decided he would just ghost literally everyone, which is whack. Her sister's getting married in September. She was very single last time I saw her. Interesting. But yeah, like rather than taking any other remotely sensible option, like he could have, first off, he could have said, well, okay, that's your opinion, but like we've known each other since we were in secondary school, and also he's a man now, so it's not like there's any real contest. That would have been the same thing to do, or to like message me and say, hey, I have a girlfriend now, she doesn't like you, so we can't talk. Like, I'd have been livid with him, but at least then it's just me that has to deal with that. Like, so because of you and him, he then drops everyone, literally, apparently, which is just so nuts. So nuts. Because, like, he was the best man at one of my friend's weddings, which is, like, bless him, he's only now really processed how hurt he is about the whole thing. It's just like, we are so unproblematic as a group of friends. We're all nerds. We don't do stuff like this. Like, we're not remotely controversial. Did y'all split up when you came out? Pretty much. Pretty much. I'd been thinking about what my deal was for many, many years. And then I realized what it was and was like, okay, I know that this is a thing, but I'm not going to do anything about it because I value this relationship more. Terrible mistake. Don't do that, ever. I eventually realized how dumb that was. And I'd said to him, like, look, you didn't sign up for this. So I'm going to go ahead with this. If you want out, that's your prerogative. So we split amicably, you know? Like, it wasn't, there was no animosity. We both understood that, like, shit happens, you know? Yeah, and then we were friends for years after that point. Sensible and adult decision, right? And then we stayed friends. Yeah, and then he had a girlfriend after that point. Didn't last very long. And then he ended up with this girl and then just ghosted literally everyone. So, yeah. So as far as the tattoo goes, I don't look at it and think, screw that guy. You know, I look at that as like a remnant from before he was whack. You know, like, I can look at that and go, ah, yes, those were good times with a friend. And it's kind of sad because, like, I suppose I kind of look at it. I don't kind of look at him as a completely different person now. Like, I look at this and I remember who he was, and that makes me happy. I don't look at it and think of who he is now. I look at it as like times that passed that were nice while they lasted, you know? And yeah, I'd separate that quite firmly from current situations. Kind of in a similar way that, like, I can comfortably look at old pictures of myself because it's like I can separate it. Like, that was then, this is now. And I had a recent purge of my Instagram, but I've never purged anything from my Facebook because it's like, no, that was real. That happened. It's not it's not what's happening now. So what does it matter? You know, like, it doesn't. Yeah, no, it was this minor purge of Instagram, just because that's the socials that I advertise basically. Whereas Facebook is like I'll only add you if I actually know you. That's whatever. Your whole life is on Insta. All my nonsense is on Insta, and because nonsense makes up the majority of my time, you could argue that yes, my whole life is on Insta. Little bit. Okay, I desperately have to pee, so I'm gonna BRB real quick. So bear with me, and then when I get back, I will fix this thing that I know is a problem, and I will answer your question about Fantasy Forest when I get back also, because that is it. I am working on it, so okay, right, bear with. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, Fantasy Forest. Okay, so actually, that is a lot easier than I was expecting it to be. So hello, I have managed to do most of it. It's it's not too bad. I need to make a couple of decisions on how to approach a couple of bits. Other than that, actually pretty okay. So yeah, all in all, it's not too bad. Oh, just want to double check. Whether this is actually a problem or not. Maybe. It might maybe be kind of a problem-ish. But then I don't know, actually. It might be okay. Because yeah, I think it will actually be fine. Sunrise is looking pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, it do be like that. You absolute lunatic. No sleep, gang. Can't say I can relate a whole bunch, if I'm honest. I have in fact slept. So I'm pretty okay. Exactly. Sleep is inviting. Yeah, I mean, I would probably suggest it, in fairness. Actually, this might work out, because I'm gonna start prepping everything for plaster casting stuff. That's the next stage of this, but also that's going to take a long time. So what I might do is set stuff up and then pull the stream and then restart it after I've had breakfast, because otherwise I'm going to be here for hours without eating, and that would be dumb. And it also means that you then have more of an incentive to leave and sleep, which is just objectively a good thing. So yeah, I might just say that. I can set some stuff up, but past that point, I think it would be smart to choose to eat stuff. I can still get 5 hours if I sleep now. Ambitious, but you're welcome to try. That's my usual. I would definitely say it's worth attempting. I know I'm going to make a mess with this. So no way to avoid making a mess with this, to be honest. The pain won't leave me alone. Oish. I don't know. Because for me, like, painkillers used to eventually work. That, and I would, at certain points, just pass out. So, like, sleep would get to me eventually. It would definitely take a while, but it would get to me eventually. Tried it all, but it's just stubborn. Fair enough. Entirely fair. I suppose, at least if you're trying to sleep. Probably better than not. Probably. It makes such a mess. Just remembering how ridiculous this is from last time. I've been trying to sleep. I don't know, man. It's just one of those, you know, I got nothing, really. Have fun, enjoy. I will. I'll be fine. I'll be making a massive mess. But it'll be funny. So. But I'll do it in a separate stream anyway. Because, as I say, if I don't go and eat now, then I'm not going to for many hours, and that would be not good. Ugh. You bots. Go eat? Yeah. I'm definitely gonna. Because everything else I will have to set up when I get back. So, it's whatever. Thanks for keeping me company. Oh, thank you for keeping me company. I'm usually kind of vibing on my own, to be honest. It was nice to not just be yapping to myself. But yes, you go sleep. I'll go eat. And yeah, then I'll come back to mess with all this. So, yeah, and have fun later on today with your shenanigans, and I will indeed catch you later. As I will the stream as a whole. So, yeah, cool. Bye-bye. Laters. Catch you in a bit. Adios, etc.